I spent 4 years trying to go full-time as a brand photographer, and honestly, I made it a lot more complicated than it needed to be. So I thought it would be fun to share 4 things I wish I would have done sooner. And so the first thing is, and I talk about this a lot, is to only show the work you want to be hired for. At the beginning of my photography business, I thought sharing all the work, saying yes to all the jobs was a good thing. I thought it would bring in more work. But it actually did quite the opposite. When I started doubling down on sharing my personal brand photography, people started viewing me as the expert in my field, and they really got to understand how I did things differently. So when it came time to book a brand photographer, I was top of mind, and it was an easy yes. The second thing was network. And it sounds crazy to say this because I had such a negative belief around networking just from bad experiences in the past, a lot of trauma, a lot of networking trauma. Once I started to lean into networking, especially putting myself in rooms where I knew my ideal client was going to be, is when I started getting really confident talking about my offer, connecting with people one-on-one. And honestly, it just made marketing myself a lot more fun and a lot less pressure. And making those real human connections kept me top of mind for when someone needed a brand photographer because they had already met me, they got a feel for my energy, they know what I do. It's changed my life, and it can change yours too. Another thing that I did that really changed the game in my business was volunteering to shoot at some of these networking events. I would basically reach out to the host of these events and volunteer my services in exchange to attend the event for free, to be able to network with other people, maybe get a meal out of it. But what I found was this was the best way to build my reputation, to connect with not only the event hosts, but people at the event. And then I'm showcasing what I can actually do in real time. The third thing I would recommend is building a brand that you love. I really thought that everybody had it figured out, and I did not. And I would mimic a lot of things that I saw. I would adhere to all the trends. My website was beige and boring. This led to people not choosing me over anyone else. It always came down to price. And once I started leaning into my personal style, people started to view me as creative, as different, and I started to attract people that completely trusted my vision. And also, if you're leaning into things that you want to do to your style, you're going to start to attract people that align with that. So if you're not getting the type of work that you want, maybe it's because your brand isn't representing what you actually want or who you want to attract. The fourth thing I wish I would have done sooner to go full-time in my brand photography business was to ask for direct feedback. I was kind of building my business assuming I knew what people wanted, and I was completely wrong. Once I found that my messaging was not landing with my ideal client, and I wasn't really getting booked as much as I thought I would, or people weren't booking the packages I want them to, I actually asked people what they wanted. How many images do you need? How many times do you post to social media? Do you need images for your website? I'm asking all these questions so you can build out a package or service that they actually want. And then once the photos are delivered, I would actually send people a feedback survey a couple months after I delivered their photos, asking, how are the photos working out for you? Was the experience everything you thought it would be? What else would you like in your package? If I could go back and start over, I would focus on these 4 things from day one. Show only the work you want to be hired for, build real connections through networking, create a brand that feels authentic to you. Always ask your clients for feedback. And if there's one thing I really, really want you to try as a brand photographer, it is the networking. And it's literally in my marketing playbook. You must go to a networking event every single month or more because the results have been insane for me. So I really wanted to put together a resource that would teach other photographers how to do this. And it's not just about going and networking, it's about actually volunteering your services and showing up as a photographer so people can really get a sense of what it's like to work with you and you become an easy yes for all the people that you interact with. So if you're a photographer and you want to make networking and marketing yourself more fun in a way that grows your client base, then you can grab that course at the link below.